fishing home. Outdoor life we all can share with family and friends. We'll do it all together with a practical sportsman. We'll do it all together with a practical sportsman.
Hi there, come on in. It is Thursday night, May 4th. We're into May already. May is Morel month. May is the time for trout fishing, and that's exactly what we did on Saturday morning up in the Upper Peninsula, Escanaba River. They had just a gorgeous time in the stream. We're going to tell you about that and the charm of trout fishing, plus a lot more. You stay tuned. I'm Fred Trost. You're watching The Practical Sportsman. Holy cow. I didn't know I was going with Eddie Bauer.
Jeez, not bad, eh?
Huh?
Of course, it's hard getting the boots on, but I think we can get it here pretty soon.
Boy, these aren't, these look like, sort of like bowling shoes, huh?
Yeah, that's what these are, Fred. These are for bowling on the Escanaba River. I use a felt soled shoe for out here because...
The felt sole?
Yeah, it's a rock bottom river, and in the summertime you get kind of slippery.
Huh. That's the latest.
Yeah. Works out pretty good.
So is this river the family cabin for many years, or?
Yeah, this has been here for a little over 40 years. My grandfather, my father built this back in the early 1960s. This used to be an old, actually, hay farm back in the turn of the century, and my grandfather got the property from some friends, basically got it for free with the stipulation that he plant trees on it. My grandfather was quite an ardent conservationist, and so he and my grandmother, my father, planted about 4,000 red pine trees out here back in the late 50s and early 60s.
Are they still standing?
Yeah, we saw those on the way in. So, but this spot is also known as the Orchard, and it's been written up in various trout journals and trout magazines for fishing. There's several good holes through here. It's great for brown trout. Occasionally you get a brookie and a rainbow. So it's a neat spot. Yeah, this is actually, my grandfather died back in 1975, but this was one of his last fishing vests. He was an avid trout fisherman, fished on the Escanaba River for years, loved it. He was a Methodist minister up here, and when he wasn't preaching, he loved to be on the river.
Is that a little small for you, or is that just...
It is a little bit small, yes. He was a little bit smaller than me, but in tribute and honor to him, I like to wear his vest, and I hope that it brings me some good luck. Although I'm sure I'll never be the fisherman that he was. He could go out here and catch a 25-inch brown in no time at all, and the best I've done so far is about a 15-inch brown. But keep trying, and one of these years I'm sure it'll happen. So
what about the flies you use?
Actually, I tie my own flies. I use wet flies for the most part. It's fast water out here, so I like to I weight some. This is called a woolly bugger. It's a fly that I've had some good success with this past year.
And what does that imitate?
Beats me. It imitates something that trout want to eat. I don't know, I've never seen a bug like this in the wilderness, but it's got a little bit of gold ribbon on there, or metal ribbon, that shoots off some light, I'm sure, and it's got a nice long tail on it, so they find it enticing. This imitates a mayfly.
That looks like a mayfly.
Yeah, you see them all over buildings in the summertime when the mayflies hatch. And then we also have a Royal Coachman here.
What would that be, like a little dace or minnow?
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're easy.
Yeah. And then we also have the old squirrel tail here. This is one that my grandfather, I think one of the first flies that he taught me to tie. He also tied his own trout flies, although I guess once in a while he was known to put a worm on the end if the fish were not actually biting that day, to try and entice them a little bit more. So,
and then what do you have over here in this box?
In this box, I've got an assortment of different types of flies. This is kind of a professor derivative, and a lot of them are kind of hooked together here, but this is kind of what...
Now, you tied all of those?
Yeah. It's a nice little winter pastime. This is Cahill here. That's a good way to spend the winter months when you can't get on the trout streams. My daughter ties them now as well. She's 7 years old, and so she's created some of her own impressions, and she'll be out here later on today trying some out herself. So
great.
Yeah, so it's kind of neat. it's kind of nice and rewarding to be able to catch something on something you've tied yourself, you know, rather than on a store-bought fly or lure or whatever. I use only flies. I don't use spinners out here. As my grandfather said, the people who fished with lures were called hardware fishermen. So as far as he was concerned, they weren't the purists that some of the trout lovers like himself were in terms of fishing for trout. He thought that a good, respectable trout would not take a lure. It would take a fly only. So